We hear a lot about time in manifesting community, and how it's essentially a made-up concept. We also hear a lot about the benefits of being present, staying present, and being invested in the now. In my opinion, it's great to hear all these different ideas concerning time. And today I thought I would share a quote from 5 Lessons, because it nicely illustrates the malleable quality of time, and maybe from a perspective you haven't considered. Neville says that once we relax our body and start to feel present, in this lovely drowsy state, or the feeling of gathered togetherness, we can then play with the idea of time. In this feeling, it is easy to touch anything in this world. You take this simple little restricted action which implies fulfillment of your prayer, and you feel it or you enact it. Whatever it is, you enter into the action as though you were an actor in the part. You do not sit back and visualize yourself doing it. You do it. With the body immobilized, you imagine that the greater you inside the physical body is coming out of it, and that you are actually performing the proposed action. If you are going to walk, you imagine that you are walking. Do not see yourself walk. Feel that you are walking. If you are going to climb stairs, feel that you are climbing the stairs. Do not visualize yourself doing it. Feel yourself doing it. If you are going to shake a man's hand, do not visualize yourself shaking his hand. Imagine your friend is standing before you and shake his hand. But leave your physical hands immobilized and imagine that your greater hand, which is your imaginary hand, is actually shaking his hand. All you need do is to imagine that you are doing it. You are stretched out in time, and what you are doing, which seems to be a controlled daydream, is an actual act in the greater dimension of your being. You are actually encountering an event fourth dimensionally before you encounter it here in the 3 dimensions of space, and you do not have to raise a finger to bring that state to pass. If you tap into what Neville is saying here, some amazing things can happen, as you know, because you are stretched out in time. What that basically means on a practical psychological level is that when you imagine a fulfilled act, the sense of fulfillment is happening now. And this is actually quite obvious when we experience it. The future fulfilled act happens now. In other words, the future happens now. Psychologically, your desired act is done. Therefore, you already have it, and you can already look back at it if you want. If you have a fulfilled sense of your desire already having happened, you're actually psychologically remembering a previous event. This fulfilled desire is not something that's going to happen in the future. It's something that already has happened. From a psychological standpoint, you're literally remembering a past event that happened. So, when we play with our imagination like this, our time sense gets real wacky. This is an incredibly powerful thing to recognize. A seemingly future event is not a future event if everything psychologically is happening now. And we can make a seemingly future event become a past event. Look at it from a place of remembrance, of having it already have happened. Because everything is really happening now. And all that is changing is our sense of perspective in this present moment. So, without even getting into a far-out discussion of quantum physics, there's undeniably an aspect of timelessness which we get to experience for ourselves by following Neville's advice. There's no real past or future, once you psychologically allow yourself to get present in the now. Similarly, if you want something in the future, you can just as easily recognize that you had it in the past, because it's all now. Of course, Neville did not just mean this as a theory. And I think it's important we remind ourselves that when we relax into the present moment, there's a lot of different ways to experientially play with our concept of time. Happy manifesting. Do subscribe if you like this video.